So with me today is Andrew, and Andrew and I met through his company, InstaVR. I think it's a very cool kind of company that allows people to do their own development of VR programs using a WYSIWYG web-based platform. It's very, very cool. If you haven't checked it out, I suggest you do so. Don't worry about it if you don't have any 360-degree pictures or video, because they actually provide some in a tutorial for you to use. So, Andrew, appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And what I just wanted to ask you a little bit is, so tell me about the company InstaVR. What is it, and what should our visitors and our viewers here know about it?
Sure, I think you nailed the description pretty well. So we're an online platform for turning 360 images and videos into distributable apps. So you can create an immersive VR experience and have people across the country, across the world experience it. And our approach is to make it as simple as possible. So right now you can create VR using like a Unity developer, for example. That's going to cost a lot of money and take a lot of time. We try to make things all drag and drop, completely web-based. We have a giant engineering client called AECOM, and their strategy when they send out their VR is to make it so it's accessible to a college student all the way up to a grandma. We feel the same way about our platform. Everyone can use it, very simple, and from a corporate level, it's an easy way for companies that don't have that VR experience to be able to offer that as something to get customers or to promote their brand, a whole bunch of different use cases.
So very interesting, thank you. If you had to describe maybe the top 2 or 3 reasons why somebody should consider InstaVR to help them with their pain points, what would those be, and how do you help them?
Yeah, so the first thing is a lot of 360 cameras on the market, but when you capture those images or video, they're kind of siloed onto your camera or onto your laptop. So one of our main pain points that we're addressing is the ability to be able to distribute those. And it's really simple, just kind of one click, the ability to do that. You can publish to iTunes Store, you can publish to Google Play. So that pain point of kind of overcoming I have these images, what do I do with them, is something that we do. The other is the ability to really augment the experiences. So, you capture your house, right? You want to show it to your relatives far away. You have to add that navigation to allow them to go room to room. You might want to augment it with something we call hotspots. So hotspots allow you to overlay directly on your images, some additional media. So it could be like you look at something and then a video starts playing, or audio narration. So this increases the value of those panoramic that you capture.
Very cool. Well, that's really interesting. So next question is really around, where is InstaVR going? What's on your roadmap for the product? What's coming up?
Yeah, so we already published to a lot of platforms, but there's a couple out there that we're going to be available for soon. The Oculus Rift is going to be a platform pretty soon that we're going to be able to publish to. Google Daydream, which is seeing pretty decent adoption, we're going to be able to publish to.
Yeah, for sure.
And then just from a user design perspective, right now we're making the menu items a little more accessible. So right now you have to pick the VR experience you want and then load it, put your phone into a headset. So we're going to kind of mimic the way that Google Daydream has their layout, which is you can choose the VR experience from inside the headset, so you never have to remove the headset. We're going to add a bit of gamification to it. I can't go too deep into that, but we get a lot of customers that are saying, I want to have this interactivity that goes beyond just kind of the standard tour type approach. So we're going to add a bit of gamification to it as well.
Very cool, very cool. So let's talk a little bit about VR itself as an industry.
Yeah.
What's coming up for VR in the next, let's say, 12 months or so? What do you see on the horizon?
Yeah, so one of the things is obviously adoption of the headsets, which we're seeing pretty strongly. I mean, Samsung, I think, has about 6 million headsets distributed. Some of the companies like Gear VR are adding hand consoles to it as well. Daydream does that. So it's going to be a bit more interactive than just kind of turning your head. There's also going to be the ability to do some hand motions with that. With that, I think it's going to be more immersive. So when we say the word immersive right now, a lot of that's just because the field of vision is in that view. The actual interactivity with the app is something that we think going forward is going to be really important.
Very interesting, very interesting. And so let's look farther out. So
Sure.
let's look now, the next maybe 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
Put on your prognostication hat
Yeah.
and tell us what you see the future being.
I think the idea is that companies can really get you to see their first products, right? If you want to experience what your new kitchen's going to look like from IKEA right now, normally you just kind of have to go to IKEA and look at the different parts they're going to put together. They're going to be able to create a whole VR experience, putting those together so that in your house you put on the headset and kind of visualize it. You can do that a bit right now with some augmented reality, but virtual reality you can completely transform the entire environment and you can share it. So, in our mind, in the future, it's not unrealistic to think about people, riding the subway, everyone with a headset on, kind of experiencing from an entertainment perspective, whatever they want to do. So, our founder Daniel put together a very popular app called Tokyo VR that kind of gives you an immersive tour of Tokyo, right? So perhaps you're going on a vacation there in a couple of weeks. You can put on the headset before you go there as you're riding to work and kind of experience that. It's not going to be value might stand out. I think in the future years it'll be as commonplace as people looking at their cell phones.
Very interesting, very interesting. And what about education market, training market? What do you see happening?
Yeah, no, we're very interested in the education market. I was at the Future of Education Technology Conference in Orlando in January, and a lot of teachers were coming up to us because, as the 360 camera market expands, the ability to do, say, virtual field trips is possible, which is great. The other thing is actually having students themselves create VR on our platform. Because we're a very simplistic platform with drag and drop, you don't need to know coding. It's a great way for you to exercise your creative brain, right? So if you use some photography, stock photography, for example, you can navigate your own project that you put together, and with those hotspots, make it educational. So, like you're doing a tour of Austin, you can point out like the UT Austin campus, and then you can have the tower, right? You can have some information about the tower there. So it really kind of allows you to be creative in a way that right now, you might have to use a pen and paper for. Just do drag and drop and share that with your classmates.
Very cool, very cool.
We have a client, German University in Cairo, where the students did a tour of historical Cairo that they then presented and shared with each other, which is exactly what I was saying, where they went through the buildings with the cameras, captured it, augmented it. So it was a really cool way to have a final project that was immersive and memorable.
Awesome. That's awesome. We'll have to check that out. Can we see that on the blog, or do we have to go?
Yeah, I have some screenshots of it.
Okay.
They didn't publicly put it on iTunes.
I see.
But we do have the Smithsonian American Art Museum use us to capture their Renwick 360 gallery. That is available on iTunes, and you can put down your Google Cardboard, Android. And that's a tour of an art building that was up in 2015. It's no longer up there, but it gives you kind of a really interactive view. So you get videos that play showing the artist creating the exhibit. You get written information on what you're looking at. It's kind of a whole new way to experience museums.
Very interesting.
Without going to DC, which is cool.
Without all the hassle of the travel.
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Well, thank you, Andrew.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck with InstaVR,
Yep.
and then I appreciate it. I think it's going to be a very interesting company, and I think it's something that hopefully all of our watchers will keep an eye on.
Cool. Enjoy the rest of South by Southwest, Greg.
Thanks, Andrew. Bye-bye.